All right, so now we're ready to type the definitions underneath each one of these vocabulary words. Make sure that you are on your text layer up here in layers, and let's get the text tool again. Once again, we're going to drag a text box just like we did when we did the vocabulary word. We're going to make it a little bit bigger and leave a margin around here so that there's some space. And let's type the definition of typography, which is the art and design of, what is it? Let me look again. Arranging type. So let's go back here, the art and design of arranging type. And let's drag our cursor over it to select it all. And let's change the font to Arial. We don't need it to be Arial Black, just choose Arial Regular. And let's make it bigger. So let's go over here to the size. You can bump it up. I'm going to put it on center. So go down to paragraph and choose align center. And let's make the size, let's make it 30. That should work good. So type 30 in there. All right. So now we have typography, the art and design of arranging type. So let's go ahead and put the other definitions again, and once, like we did before, you can just copy and paste this text box so that you don't always have to reset the type and the size and all that. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to do Control C, Control V. I'm going to drop it in. When it gives me the guides, I know that I have it in the right spot. And let's see what the definition of kerning is. The space between two letters. So I'm going to go over here and get my text tool and say space between two letters. I'm going to get my selection tool and I'm going to paste that other copy in. Move it over here. You can actually paste in all of them if you want to do it first and then type over what the definition is. Get your text tool. I'm going to select over here. Tracking is the space between a group of letters, and leading is the space between lines of text. Alright, so we have all these definitions. Now I want you to change wherever it says space, I want you to change it to bold. So drag your cursor over it or just right click inside of that one word and go over here where it says Arial and change it to bold. Same thing over here, right click on the word space, go over to properties, character, change it to bold. And then on typography, let's just select the word art and design and make that bold. All right, so we have our definitions and our vocabulary words. Let's go back and look at what else we need to do here. All right, so we have the words copied again, and below that, because we are going to actually do kerning and do tracking and do leading. So let's go back to our file and get your selection tool and click on the word kerning, click on the word tracking, and click on the word leading while holding the shift key. So if you hold the shift key while you click on things, it will let you select all of them. All right, and then let's do Control C and Control V. And then grab all of them while they're still selected and move them down here like that. Okay, so now we're going to actually adjust the kerning, tracking, and leading so you can actually see how it's done. So let's get our text tool and go in between the, let me zoom in so you can see this better. Put your cursor right in between the N and the I so it's blinking right there, and let me show you how you can adjust kerning. All this stuff is on the certification test, so it's good to learn all these really simple things right up front. So you have the blinking cursor in there. Let's go over to our character, and if you hover your mouse over each one of these things, it tells you what it is. So I have my mouse over this V/A. Let me do it again. Lets me know kerning. Okay, so that's the right window. So what I want to do is, if I want it to be a bigger space, I click the up arrow. If I want it to be a smaller space, I click the down arrow. I want you to, or you can click on this and pick a specific number. So if we make it -100, you'll see it made it really close together. I don't want that. I want you to make the kerning to be +100. And then let's click on our selection tool so you can see it actually changed the space between those two letters. So that's what kerning is. Now let's get our text tool and right click on the word tracking. Now we're not just putting it in one spot like we did on kerning, because tracking is the whole group. So now we want to right click and select all of the letters. And if we go over here to character and you hover your mouse over this tool right here with the V, A, and the arrow, it should tell us it's tracking. It's not doing it, but that is the tracking spot right there. Hopefully it works on your computer. If you hover over there, this V and A is the tracking. Once again, you can change the values this way, or you can type in a number. So notice how if I put -100, it made the tracking on the letters to be really tight. I want you to just put it on 100 so that it spaces them out. Alright, so let's get the selection tool so that it deactivates the typing, and now you can see we have kerning, we have tracking. Let's show you what leading is. Now leading is the space between lines of text, and we're going to need to make this text box bigger to have lines of text. So take your leading box, go ahead and just pull it down near the bottom so that you have a lot of room. And then get the type tool and right click on the word leading, and we're going to copy that word. So do Control-C while that word is selected. Then go to the end of the G there and have your mouse active there, and then press return and do paste. Control-V and do it again, return, Control-V, return, Control-V. Now we have lines of text so we can adjust the leading. So what I want you to do is drag your mouse across these top 3 lines of text, and let's go over here where this A is on top of the A over here in character panel, and let's change that. So usually the size of the leading is a similar size to the text. So let's go up here and increase the leading on that, or you can decrease it. I'm going to go ahead and make these 3 lines really close together, and then let's select this word leading down here and go up there and make it a lot bigger. So that is what the leading in text is the space between lines of text. So go ahead and save this so you can save your work, and then I'll have another video on how you can finish this up.